Hello everyone. You know me, so I'm not going to introduce myself right now. At any rate, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the late, great James Baldwin, but if you're not familiar with him, you really should familiarize yourself with him starting this evening, or starting when you hear about him. And familiarize yourself with everyone that comes up in your newsfeed. James Baldwin was a civil rights activist here in the United States of African descent who warned many times of what was going to happen to this country if the majority did not change the way that they deal with and treat the minorities of this country, mainly minorities of color. That warning was supposed to have been and remained a warning, and it would have had enough people chosen to pay enough attention to make the necessary changes that needed to be made. But unfortunately, he didn't just see a lot of opposition among the pale-complected people of European descent. He got quite a bit of opposition from dark-complected people of African descent in this country as well. They were very angry. They had every right to be. They had every right to be. I know some of them are still pretty angry even now, and I got a feeling they still have good reason. But his warning was, very simply, that this country, not just pale and or dark, but the country as a whole, was going to fall on its face and would be no more one day if we did not change the way we were doing things. And unfortunately, I don't know about you, but I see that happening. It was gradual for several decades. Now it's quite rapid. And I believe that is because we did not change their system. We did not change it in a manner that gave an really, truly equal opportunity to everyone. The majority of the good opportunities actually stayed with the pale-complected people. And because of that, we did ourselves in by doing that. We didn't just oppress dark-complected people. We put ourselves in a state of future oppression, which is being done by mainly very wealthy, very powerful, pale-complected elites of European descent. A very small group of people who look like that. There are a very small handful of dark-complected people of African descent in that elite group, but there's not very many. There's some, but not very many. Most of them are wealthy, powerful, pale-complected Europeans, or Europeans and people of European descent. It was not enough for them that they were oppressing minorities of color. They want everybody. And I personally believe that they used minorities of color as an experiment to find out just what the most effective method was going to be for getting all the rest of us. That's my belief. I can't say that is a fact. I don't have any proof except history. History really looks to me like it is proof that what I'm saying is true. You decide for yourself. But it's not too late. A lot of people think it is, but it's not too late. If every parent, regardless of your skin color, would have their children listen to everything James Baldwin ever said, read everything he ever wrote, and everybody else in the civil rights movement from the 40s to the 80s, it would only take one generation to turn this country around. I'm absolutely sure of that. We could still do it, but that's what's going to have to be done. Because he won't be taught in schools. Not to every kid. Be taught to the dark-complected kids only. And if a pale-complected kid decides he wants to educate himself about all that, how many of them are going to do that when they're not being encouraged to do it at home? Or by anybody else? At any rate, that's what has to be done. And if every parent in this country teaches these things to their kids within one generation, inequality will be a thing of the past, and so will poverty. Thank you. Have a great day.